Okay, I am out on the Continental Divide Trail doing just a very short hike. I'm walking 2 miles out and I'll be going 2 miles. Sorry, I just got a text message. I was trying to see what it was. And then I'll be walking 2 miles back for my 4-mile walk today. I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to come out and do this hike because there's a really bad fire in the southern portion of the Givas. Really, really bad fire right now, the trout fire. I don't know how many acres it's burned, but it is a very big fire. And I was researching yesterday to see like where road closures were, where trail closures were, and they actually have Emery Pass closed, which is where I was planning on going hiking next week. So I don't know that I'll be able to do that. Probably not, unless something major changes. But from everything I could tell, it looked like this part of the trail was still open. The trailhead was open. The highway was open. So I just kind of decided I would just go ahead and drive up here and see. And if it wasn't, I prepared myself. I was like, if it's not, I'll have some backup plans. And I passed four Forest Service trucks coming out of the forest. When I was coming in, I was like, ooh, I wonder what they're doing. But I got up here and everything was open. The trailhead was open. I read the signboard. The only thing up there was just about fire restrictions. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm good to hike. So I'm about, when I stopped to start filming, I was at 0.86 miles. I mean, I'm probably still, I haven't walked that far. 0.86 miles in. I didn't want to start filming until I got to kind of a flat part, because, this is 7,000 something feet in elevation up here. And I do tend to struggle on the beginning of this trail with my breathing while I adjust. And it is like, that first portion, basically that 0.86 miles is, I'm getting another text message. I must have just gotten service or something. Because I know I didn't have service at the trailhead, so I just got service and all text messages are popping up. But yeah, so that first 0.86 miles is pretty much climbing the whole time, but it's not a steep climb. It's just a very slow, steady climb. And because I'm already at 3,000 feet higher in elevation than where I live, and then I have to walk uphill, I do tend to struggle with my breathing. And I was like, I don't want to get out my phone and try to film. So, but it was really nice. Plane maybe? Yeah, that's a plane. I'm focusing on slow and steady because I have always, especially from when I was younger and from when I was always trying to get in shape. I'm always trying to get in shape. And sometimes I was in pretty good shape and sometimes I wasn't. But I don't know, I just always had this tendency to view hiking as more of a part of my workout routine than for enjoyment. And so I was always trying to be fast, gotta make fast miles. And sorry, the camera's gonna go all over the place. I don't even care. I'm just doing this for myself anyway. But yeah, it was always about hitting fast miles. Gotta get faster and faster, And And I actually think Leslie Sansone is partly to blame for that, because I used to do Leslie Sansone workout videos all the time. And it was like 20-minute miles, 15-minute miles, 10-minute mile. So I kind of blame Leslie for a part of that, as much as I love her. I actually should start doing some of her videos again, just for funsies. But yeah, I'm like, that's not how I want to view hiking anymore. Like, I do want to be able to walk further. I want to be able to go out and do like all day hikes, but not because I'm trying to get in shape, or I'm trying to hit my fitness goals or anything like that, or I'm trying to lose weight, but just for the pure enjoyment of being out here. And while I was making my little climb, yeah, I really focused on just kind of taking it slow and taking lots of little mini breaks. Like when my breathing would get a little too much, just stop, take a little mini break, look around. And I was like noticing so much more than I normally do. There was this squirrel that was like running up ahead of me. Oh, hello, there's a lizard. For a little while. And it was like every time I would stop to take a break, I would see him hopping up ahead of me, and I would watch him until he disappeared. And I'd start walking again, and then I'd stop, and then I'd see him hopping up ahead of me. And that happened like 3 times in a row. It was so funny. And then, like, I've noticed birds. Like, I never see birds, but I've been noticing birds and hearing them. And then just noticing like what's around me, the trees, the little hills, what's off in the distance, looking up at the clouds, the sky. Speaking of which, oh, there's some good clouds. Like, I've just been noticing so much more because I've just been like out here to enjoy it. And I don't know, it's been a really, really nice experience for this short little part that I'm on right now. So yeah, as far as the weather, it's like 9:45 right now. I got kind of a late start because I was having such a hard time falling asleep last night. I went to bed at like 9:30, but I don't think I fell asleep until sometime after 1. And then so I woke up at like 6:47. So I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I was also like, well, I need to get moving. I can sleep later today. I need to get up and get going. So I think I headed out of town around 7:15ish probably. Maybe a little bit later. I stopped and got McDonald's for the drive, so I would have some food and liquids in me. But I'm not going to do that again because I paid $16.50 for 2 sandwiches and 2 drinks. And I'm like, I could just like make my own stuff at home and take it with me. So, but I'm out of groceries right now and I don't get paid for another 2 days. So I'm going to do a Walmart order, and I'm going to include some pre-hike foods for myself so I can just prepare at home and take it on the drive with me. But yeah, I don't know what time I got up here or what time I started hiking. I wasn't paying that close attention, but I did when I just took out my phone to start recording. I looked at the time, and it was 9:45, and I was like, oh, that's usually about the time that I'm finishing my hikes down in the desert, or at least last week. That was about the time that I was finishing my hikes, and it was freaking hot. But right now, it's actually very nice and cool, and now I have this nice cloud coverage. Whoops. So that's going to help a lot. But it's supposed to be in the low 90s today. We've been in the hundreds for a while, like the low hundreds. But it's supposed to be low 90s today in town, and it's usually about 10 degrees cooler up here. So I was figuring I'll be hiking in 80-degree weather probably, but it's not there yet. So I might be able to beat some heat. I'm actually gonna order. I've been putting things in my Amazon wish list that I want to get for hiking. And I'm just gonna slowly get things that I want, and it allows me to kind of think about whether or not I really want that. Like I put a umbrella in my wish list because I've been getting annoyed with my umbrella because one of the spokes is busted and it hangs down in my face sometimes. And I was thinking that I didn't want the long, I can show my umbrella. It's over on that side. Yeah, I have the long one that I have to stow outside of my backpack. And I was thinking, well, maybe I want a collapsible one that I can stow inside my backpack. But I'm kind of starting to rethink that. I'm thinking, maybe I just get some wire cutters and snap off that one spoke. Because the umbrella itself is still fine. And I do have this handy dandy little loop on my backpack that's designed for me to carry an umbrella. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking I might not get a new umbrella. So that's why I like to put things in my wish list instead of just buying it when I think about it. That way it gives me time to decide if that's really what I want to do. But I do want to get a little thermometer to hang on the outside of my backpack, because that is one thing that I am always curious about. I knew that was going to happen. When I'm hiking is like, what is the current temperature, And so, yeah. But like I said, right now it's cool. When the clouds go away, but that is a really big cloud. I might have that cloud for a while. It's actually kind of gray. I wonder if it's going to sprinkle on me a little bit. It always does when I'm up here. It's funny. Every time I come up here, I end up getting a little bit of some gray clouds. But yeah, when the sun's out, it's definitely warm under the sun. But I do have trees here. They're not the best coverage because this is an old burn area, so they're not full trees. But they provide a little bit of shade. So when I hit a shady spot, I can stop and take a little break. And of course, I do have my hat and my umbrella. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get too awfully hot out here. And I have a feeling that I'm gonna do better on this hike because of that. Because I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I really feel like the worst part for me, like the reason I can't get past the 4 miles is the heat. But I also feel like I need to learn to hike in the heat. So, I'm gonna keep doing it and keep seeing if I can go a little bit further. But I think today's gonna be better. This is such a nice part of the trail. I think I'll actually, I might have some more stuff to talk about. I don't know. I've had a lot going on in my head. I'm constantly filming in my head, but I don't always want to take my camera out. But I'll be thinking about things that I want to say, and then when I actually do take my camera out and start filming, I forget everything I was going to say. But I think I'm going to turn the camera around and show a little bit of the trail as I hike. It's very faint. The trail's really faint through here, but yeah, I'll show a little bit of that, and maybe I'll think of some other things to talk about. All right, so here's what it looks like where I'm at right now. So again, this is part of the Continental Divide National Scenic Trail. And I I actually was trying to research too if there was any chance I might meet any thru hikers while I'm out here, because I was considering bringing up extra water just in case. But when I got to looking, because for some reason I always thought the CDT hikers started later, which I guess they do, because I think the Appalachian Trail hikers start in like early April, and I guess, but I thought that the CDT hikers tended to start in like June or something. But when I went to the CDT Coalition website, they've stopped their shuttle already. They stopped their shuttle May 15th to the southern terminus of the route. So I was like, oh, okay, so I guess that's the latest you can start if you want to use their shuttle service, which I think most people do, just because it's such a pain in the butt to get out to the southern terminus. And then I actually, I did find a few people vlogging their hikes, and they're all out of New Mexico already. So, yeah, which is good. So no one's getting waylaid by the fire. So that's good. But, yeah, so this is the part that starts on Highway 59, sort of to the west of Winston, New Mexico. And the trailhead's right on Highway 59, which is a paved road. The trailhead has a vault toilet, which I appreciate after my drive. And I'm heading south this week. So if I come out here next week, if Emery Pass is still closed, I'll go on the north side. I'll head north instead. We'll see. We'll see what happens next week. Maybe they'll get that fire contained and they'll open Emery Pass back up. Oh, dear. Shit. I don't know if I can zoom in. Oh my God. Now I'm not going to be able to show him. He's like way in the distance. But there was a deer. I'm seeing so much wildlife, and I bet it's because of the fire too. It's not just the fact that I'm opening my eyes and looking around for once, getting my head out of my butt, but it's also the fire. I think it's driving a lot of the wildlife north. There's another deer. God damn it, there's two. Where are you guys? I lost them. Oh, I can see. Oh, they stopped moving. That's why. Just put my camera in the general direction that they are. It's between, I don't know if I can get my finger up here. Right between those two trees. Oh, there it goes. Okay, I'm just gonna watch it through the camera now, so I can try to film it. Trying to change my hands here. Try to get in the center. Oh, that one's moving. There it goes. Right. I lost track. I was trying to watch it outside of my camera, and so I lost track of it. It's really hard. I don't know how people film wildlife. It's really hard for me, because I can't. I'm not good at like judging what my camera's picking up. But yeah, I'm thinking, because when I was driving up here, oh my God, I saw there were so many little rodents like trying to run over the highway. I was like dodging them like crazy. There was a jackrabbit that I almost hit, and then all kinds of like little things, like I don't even know what, because I don't know what the little guys are called. I don't know all the species, but you know what I mean. Chipmunks type of things. Chipmunk, squirrels, whatever. But yeah, there was all kinds of them. They kept running into the road, and luckily I was driving really, really slow. I drove really slow up here, and because that's another thing that I'm trying to do. It's just like enjoy my drives. I've always been such a fast driver. I speed everywhere. And now I'm like, no, I just want to take it slow. Enjoy myself. And I used to get like so stressed out if I did try to drive slow and someone would get behind me and being all impatient and shit. And I'm just like, you know what? If I find a place to pull over, I'll pull over for them, let them go around me, and if I can't, then, you know, maybe it's a lesson for them to slow down and chill out too. So I don't let them get to me anymore. I just live my life. I keep reminding myself that other people like don't care about other people. So why do I? I'm trying to be less empathetic, you know? Trying to be more of an asshole. No. But I am trying to work on, like, I need to find a balance, I think, because I'm always like just trying not to annoy people pleasing, you know, just being a people pleaser. And I don't want to be a straight up asshole, but I also, like, I'm here to enjoy my experience of life too. And if that means that I piss you off, then we'll just both have to get over that, you know? I guess that's like where I'm at right now. Would never do anything to intentionally hurt anyone, but I'm not gonna hurt myself. So that that's a cool tree. Maybe when I get a little bit closer, I'll show it a little bit more. Oh, goodness. All right, well, I guess that's all I gotta say for right now. I'm gonna check and see where I'm at. Probably gonna take a little break when I hit a mile. All right, shoes off. Got the sandwich out. Got the electrolytes. Got a kind of a view. It's break time. All right, so apparently, so I use, in order to track my miles, I use the Map My Walk Map My Walk app. And I guess I have it set to do voice notifications for every half a mile. And I guess while I'm recording video, it doesn't give me the voice notifications, because when I got done recording, I checked to see where I was at, and I was at 1.25 miles. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I've gone over a mile. So, and I feel fine. I was like, you know, maybe I'll just go the 2 miles, and then I'll just stop and take my break at the 2 miles and then head back. Like, that sounds nice. Sit and take a nice long break. I'll eat a little snack. Maybe do a little meditating while I'm out here. This will be really nice. So I keep walking. And by the way, I'm pretty sure 1.25 miles is the farthest I've ever gone on this trail. Because I'm pretty sure the last time I came out here, I purposely went to 1.25 miles because it was the furthest that I'd been. Because prior to that, I had only gone a mile in. And I know for sure when I got to 1.5 miles, I knew for sure that I'd never been there before. I did not recognize that spot at all. It's actually wild, like how much the trail changes in just this short 2 miles. Just the terrain and everything. Like, I went from like walking through this field with like, trees, but like very sparse trees. And then it got a little more foresty feeling, but I still, they were still like, I was still had a lot of space in between me and the trees. And then all of a sudden, like, it just started changing, and all of a sudden I was walking through like these small trees that were like much closer to the trail. And it started to feel a little crowded, honestly. They were kind of crowding in on me. And then the trail itself got really rocky. You could probably actually see it in that previous clip. That there's a lot of rocks on the trail. So I definitely started feeling like sensations in my feet, which is something that I'm kind of monitoring today too, to see how my feet do on on these hikes, because I definitely had a lot of heel pain last week from the 2 hikes that I did. And it kind of took a few days for it to go away. But I think that's just a matter of me getting used to the, I don't know if these are 0-drop shoes or not. I'm sitting here looking at them. I don't know if the Lone Peaks are 0-drop, but they're definitely like don't have as much cushioning as I'm used to. And then of course the wide toe box and everything, which is absolutely amazing. Like, I have so much room inside the shoes. It's wonderful. I love it. I feel like my feet can just kind of spread out and do what they need to do in there. I know the first time I wore them, I complained about my feet hurting on top, but I realized that was just because I had them tied too tight. So I've been tying them looser, so I have more room in there for my feet to kind of move around and expand and do what they need to do. So I think the only thing that I've got to kind of work through is the heel issues, which again, I think is just a matter of me getting used to wearing them and then hiking in them and getting building up the strength in my feet so that they don't need the cushioning. So I'm just kind of like paying attention to how that feels today. And like I said, when I got on the rockier terrain, I felt sensation in my heels. It's not pain, but there's feeling there. I feel something there. But yeah, it's not painful yet, but I'll definitely be paying attention to that on the walk back. And at the end of my hike, I do think the walk back is going to be so much nicer. Is that clouds behind me? Yeah, that is clouds. I couldn't tell if that was clouds or like the outline of a mountain behind me. But yeah, the walk back is going to be easier because it's going to be mostly downhill. So it will be a nice, easy walk. It took me an hour and 38 minutes to do the 2 miles, which I kind of love. Like, now that I'm not worried about the speed and I'm just out here to enjoy myself and have fun, I'm kind of like, I like that it took me an hour and 38 minutes to walk 2 miles. I was trying to decide if I should take that, what is it called? Metric or whatever off of the app, because I can change like what it shows me on the app. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I think it's good for me to leave it there and like allow it to not bother me that I'm not walking fast. So yeah, I think I'll just do that. I'm hungry, but okay. So let me finish up talking about like this last part. So 1.25 miles. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll go to 2 miles before I'll take a break. And so I'm walking along and feeling good. I hit 1.5 miles and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah, I haven't been here before, And but then after that, I started to feel like I was struggling a little bit. I started to feel like my legs were tired. And I was like, oh, maybe I can't go 2 miles. So I pull out my phone to see where I'm at, and I'm at like 1.6 miles or something. I'm like, oh, it's only 0.4 more miles. That's, it's not that far. Let's just try to do it. So I kept going, and I got to this really cool spot where there was this big rock. So I took a picture of it, and there was a nice view. So I tried to get a picture of it. I don't know if I got a very good picture of it, but so I kind of stopped and did that, took a couple pictures, and started walking again. And I was like, and that was did I say that was at 1.75? So I was at 1.75 miles when I did that. I start walking again, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I feel fine. No. Like, I feel like I can keep going. I feel fine. I was like, I don't know if it was that little break. I don't know if it's the difference in the terrain or what, but, picking up my sandwich, put it back down. So I keep walking. Well, then what I started to realize was it was when I'm going up hills. So, and it was interesting because my breathing did get better. Like I did, after that first 0.86 miles where you're just like going uphill, going uphill, going uphill, you know, I acclimated, right? And I was able, like, now I'm going up the hills and I'm like, okay, I'm breathing fine. Like, I'm not heavy breathing, unless it was like a really steep one and I tried to take it too fast. Then I had to stop and slow myself back down. But I was like, no, my breathing's doing fine. But what I was starting to struggle with was my legs were getting tired on the hills. So again, I just said, okay, if the legs feel tired, stop and take a little break. So I just kept stopping, taking little breaks, let my legs rest for a minute, and then keep going. And I'm like, yeah, this is fine. And so when I got here to hit 2 miles, I was like, I feel good. Like I mean, yeah, my legs are hurting because I don't have a lot of muscle. I'm just starting to get physical again, so naturally they're gonna hurt. But like, I can do this. I don't know why I think I can't do this. I can do this. So, and now I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be, I feel really good right now. It's still really cool. It's almost 11 o'clock now, but it's still, I got lots of clouds in the sky. It's very cool. I get hit with a breeze sometimes. I am going to pull my head out for the walk back, and I'll just kind of wear it around. I forget that I have a hood too. I'll just kind of wear it around my neck probably, so that if the sun comes out, then I'll throw my hat on. Not this, but the other hat. I'll throw my hat on just to get a little shade. I'm not going to get my umbrella out though. Like, if I get hot, I can stop and take my backpack off and get the umbrella out. I don't really want to do that because I like having my hiking poles. I prefer to have my hiking poles rather than an umbrella. So, yeah. So I would say, like, right now, halfway through the hike, 2 miles, I feel good. I'm really excited that I've seen more of this trail than I have gotten to see before. And I'm excited for, like, when I'm ready to do 5 miles and I get to see another half mile of this trail, like, that's going to be cool. And I'll just get to keep seeing more and more and more of it. And the other trails that I do too. It's exciting. I'm going to see new stuff. I haven't seen new stuff for a while because I have the hiking trails that I like to do, and I tend to just go out and do them. When I do go hiking, I just do the same trails and I just don't go very far. So now I'm going to be pushing myself to go further and further, and I'm going to get to see new stuff, so I'm excited about that. I know eventually I'll probably venture out to some different trails if I get bored. Once I finish that trail in Elephant Butte, once I work myself up to, being able to do 6.5 miles, and I can go finish that trail, I'll probably stop going to that trail unless I just want a quick little walk in the evening or something. And I might venture out to some different things. I'm sure things will change. Things will evolve as I go. It's sprinkling. It's sprinkling. That's so funny. Every time I come out here, I get rained on. It's so funny. I do have a little bit of a story to tell. Like, as far as like the mental stuff, I guess we can call it the healing journey part of things. I don't know. But I think I'll wait until I get back to the car. I don't think I want to. I think that's going to be something that I just put at the end of my videos. That way, in case anybody does watch these, like, if they're not into that, like, they can just turn the video off at the end. Like, I was watching this girl's video the other day. I've been watching so many hiking videos and just trying to find, like, some smaller people out there, smaller people, smaller creators, who are just out there, just doing their thing. And that I just like their vibe, I'm tired of all the big hiking influencers. Like, I like some of them, but I want to watch people who are just out there like not making gear videos, not making like heavily produced videos, but just going out for their hike and showing us a little bit of the view along the way, you know? And I was watching this one girl, and she's doing training hikes for something. I can't remember what she's doing, but she's doing training hikes. And I was enjoying, you know, her. She was kind of cool. Like, I don't know, I liked her vibe and everything, and I liked her video. But then she started doing a sermon. And I was like, oh, that's not really my thing. Like, no judgment, whatever. People do whatever, believe whatever, but it's just not my thing, you know? And so it is funny because I'm spiritual, but I'm not like religiously or religiously spiritual, something like that. You know, it's not Bible spirituality. It's consciousness. That's, I just, you know, I think everything's consciousness. That's my spirituality. So, so I was kind of like, ugh. So I clicked away from the video, and then I felt guilty. I was like, you know, I liked everything else about what she was doing. I just didn't want to be preached at, you know? And so I was like, well, maybe I could just kind of go back and skip forward. So I went back to the video. I pulled it back up to where it was. And I went to like drag the little, you know, thing at the bottom forward. And I noticed she actually had chapters, and she had one of them labeled sermon. And I was like, oh, well, that was kind of cool. So I wonder if I could do chapters on my videos. I know how to do them. I just don't know how I would like break them up or whatever. Plus I really don't like to get, I'm so lazy. I just like to film the video. I do the mildest little bit of editing where I just like clip off a beginning, clip off the end where I'm moving the camera around or whatever, and upload the video. I don't even like to put descriptions. I don't like to do any of that extra stuff. I just put a title and I upload, and that's it. Like, I'm so lazy. And then I don't watch it. I don't pay any attention to it at all after that. I just go on with my life. It's just fun for me to do. I just like to do it. And I like to have it in case I like to have my videos on there in case I ever go back. Like, I could just make videos and store them on my phone, but that would use up all of my storage, and I don't want to do that. So I put them on YouTube so that YouTube can store my videos for me. And that's it. Like, that's all I do, because, you know, there might be some time that I want to go back. I have gone back. I have a lot of videos that are from like 2020, 2021, 2022 era of hiking. And they're all unlisted because I had them up for a while, and then I was like, I moved on from that stage of my life. That's not really, I'm in a different place now. So I didn't want them public anymore. So I unlisted them all, but like, they're still there for me to go back. And I do still go back and look at some of them every once in a while just to see where I was and stuff. There's actually one in particular that I will rewatch on occasion, just because it was one where I was having a oneness experience on my hike. I used to call it like an awakening type of experience, because I think it could be like classified as that if you're into that type of stuff. It was that type of experience, but I don't like the word awakening anymore. I don't know, who cares? It's just a word. But just for my personal experience, I don't like the word awakening. So I think of it now as a oneness experience, an experience of oneness that I had on a hike. And I took my camera out and I recorded part of it, and just recorded like things that were going on, how I was feeling, what I was noticing, you know. And I never made that one public, like, because that was a private thing that I did, that was going on, and I didn't want other people to be witness to it. But I do have it on YouTube unlisted, and I do go back and watch it every once in a while, just to remember, just to remember what it was like, because it was a very unique experience. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that and what I started talking about, but Oh, I was talking about, yeah. So that's the whole I'm such a rambler. Um, yeah, I wanna leave my when I talk about like where I'm at in like with my healing, with my mental health stuff. I guess I don't even know what to call it. Where my mind's at, mindset. I'm gonna start leaving that for the end of my videos to talk about. Because again, that's mostly for me as well. Like, I don't know. If any, I think one of the reasons too that I like to put them on YouTube is sometimes I think, maybe there's one person out there in the world who just really gets something from me. I don't know what they would get from me, but whatever. um, so that's the other person I guess that my videos are for. It's mostly for me, but also maybe that one person out there who watches and goes, oh, I kind of like what she's saying. I don't know, but I'm gonna finish my snack here, and it stopped sprinkling, so I think I'll sit and meditate for a little while, and then I'll start the journey back to the car, which I'm actually really looking forward to because it's gonna be mostly downhill. All right, I'm heading back out, or back out. I don't know, out and back. I'm heading back. I just wanted to show this portion of the trail, and I'll talk about my break a little bit. But this is what I was talking about, where it got really rocky. I don't know what kind of scat that is. There's a lot of scat on the trail. I don't know what that is though. But anyway, yeah, so the trail got really rocky right here. And that's a little bit of my view. That's really pretty. You can see like a lot of like sandy stuff out there. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so it was a really nice break. I took like an hour-long break, which was really nice. And I was like, yeah, it's nice to be able to take a long break and not have to be thinking about, oh, I gotta hurry up and get back before it gets too hot. I can't sit for too long. I'm really enjoying the weather today. It definitely does make a difference in the hiking. But yeah, I sat there and I finished my sandwich and finished my water. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit and meditate for a while. And so I closed my eyes. I tried to sit in like, proper meditation, close my eyes. I couldn't cross my legs, but that's okay. And I sat there for a few minutes, like that, and I was just like, yeah, this is nice, but like, I have a beautiful view right now. I'm sitting out in nature. I want to like look at my surroundings. So I opened my eyes and I just sat there for like the longest time, just taking everything in. And I was like, this is meditation too. Meditation doesn't have to be like, literally every moment of life can be meditation, It doesn't have to be this thing where you gotta sit in a quiet space. You could meditate in the middle of a city block if you wanted to. Life is meditation. So, yeah, so that was nice. I just sat there for a really long time and just took in everything around me. Listened to the sounds, the birds. The birds have quieted. They were chatting while I was sitting, but they got quiet. Yeah, just everything. Just took it all in. It was really nice and peaceful. And then I drank some more water. It's trying to lighten my load a little bit. I brought 3 liters of water with me today because I just I don't know, I just panic about water. So I drank half a liter on my on the hike out because I carry a half-liter bottle. attached to my backpack. So I drink that as I was hiking. And then on my break, I drink another liter. So I drink 1.5 liters. So now I got 1.5 liters left for the rest of the hike. And I probably won't go through it. But that's okay. Some days you just don't need as much water. I ate some of my snack mix. I was going to put it on camera, but I didn't feel like filming when I was eating it. But it was like, so one of the PCT hikers that I've been watching, she was showing on one of her videos that she basically combines all of her snacks for the day into one bag. So she had this Ziploc bag that just had trail mix in it. It had beef sticks in it. It had gummy, like bears or whatever. Not gummy bears, but some sort of gummy candy. And I was like, I kind of like that idea because I have multiple snack bags in my backpack because I separated everything. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like that idea of just throwing it all together. I'm going to give that a try. So I did. Well, the snacks that I had were, I had a cheddar Chex Mix. I had these, I think they were taco flavored Quest chips. I had these chili and lime peanuts and some mini beef sticks. And this was the best one, the Nerds gummy clusters. So I put those all together in a bag and I just opened it up and went to eat it. And first of all, the beef sticks were covered in gummy, or not gummy, but covered in Nerds. So that was funny. But I ate one anyway. I was like, it's fine. And then I ate a chip. And then I was like, I'm just going to go for it. So I just stuck my hand in there and just randomly grabbed a little pinch out of there. And it was one of the cheddar Chex cereals and one of the chili lime peanuts and a Nerds gummy cluster. And I just threw it all into my mouth at once. And I was like, wow, that is an interesting flavor combination. But I kind of liked it. So I just kept eating like that. I was like, okay, I'll just eat all the snacks at once. So that was kind of funny. But I like doing that. I don't think I'll get the Nerds gummy clusters though, because they're kind of messy. But I do like just throwing it all together and making just a random snack mix. Oh, look at this tree, or it used to be a tree with I don't know why, but like the dead trees are just so fascinating to me. All right, so yeah, so I'm heading back and it's still nice and cool. Just had that little bit of sprinkling when I was on break, but I got a nice breeze. I think it's gonna be a really good walk back to the car. Yeah, and then we'll, like I said, the only thing will be just see how I feel at the end of the hike. I'm really curious as to how my feet are gonna do today. So I'll see you back in the car. So look, okay, so here's the trail. You have this tree that's fallen over. But it got caught by this other tree. And that tree is keeping this tree from falling over the trail. But I didn't notice that the first time I walked through here. And now I'm like, huh. Oh, there's a trail marking. What do they call those? Blaze. Now I'm like, that's a little scary to walk under. But I'm going to do it. It's only going to take a second. If I hear any creaking, I'll run. Here we go. Oh, okay, we made it. Okay, well, I just got back from my hike. And yeah, it was a good hike today. I have a treat. I brought myself a Coke Zero and a little snack cake to have. And what I did, so I froze it. I put it in the freezer last night. And then I also had a bottle of frozen water. So I threw them both in the cooler today with the snack cake to try to keep them cold, so that when I got back to my car, I would hopefully have a very cold Coke. So let's see how I did. It's pretty good. Not super, super cold, but it's cold. I'd be happier if it was a Diet Coke, but I grabbed zero, so it is what it is. So, okay, so how do I feel about the hike today? It was good. Like, this was a really good hike. I really enjoyed today. This weather is absolutely perfect. Beautiful hiking weather. The sun was like in and out. Right now it's gone. It came out for a little while, so I did put my hat on. My hair's kind of a mess, but I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I'm trying to I cut it all off so that I can grow it back out and try to figure out what I want to do with it. But anyway, so yeah, I had to put on my hat for a little bit, but not too much. And now it's back to being very cloudy. So it was a really good hike. I enjoyed my break. I'm glad I did my break at the sort of the midpoint, I guess, of my hike. That was nice. I didn't drink any water at all on the way back. Like, I just never felt like I needed it. I think because I drank so much on my break that I didn't really need any water. So I still have 1.5 liters of water. So I did a 4-mile hike with 1.5 liters. But I'm kind of keep taking about 3 liters with me just because I like it. And on the hot days, I do drink more water. So I think 3 liters is a good minimum. And I was just sitting here thinking, I just realized I was thinking to myself that I lost 6 pounds of weight out of my backpack by drinking that 1.5 liters. But 6 pounds of weight is what I was carrying in the beginning, so it was about 3 pounds. But it definitely, it makes a difference. Like, drinking the water takes a lot of weight off of your backpack, and it was so much easier coming back with less weight, and then it was all downhill. I would say, I didn't have any breathing issues at all. I never lost breath because I was going downhill the whole time. My legs were okay. I could tell, on the way back, I could feel it in the back of my legs, like the back of my thighs and my calves. Probably because I was coming downhill. I could feel them burning a little bit, but they felt okay. My heels were starting to hurt when I turned around and started coming back. I definitely was starting to feel some heel pain. So I just focused on shortening my steps so that I could put more weight towards the front of my foot. And of course, going downhill, you do that anyway. So that helped. They're not horrible. They're probably going to hurt later on. When I get home and try to get out of my car, I'll know how bad they are. But I think I just got to keep going. I just got to keep working at it, and eventually they'll adjust, to the shoes. But I really like the shoes. Something I didn't mention about them too is that when I did my desert hike last week, I was in a lot of sand. It was a very sandy part of the hike. I didn't get any sand inside these shoes. My other 2 pairs of shoes that I've worn out there, I get filled with sand, but these got no sand in them at all. So to me, that's worth it. I'll deal with the heel pain. It'll get better anyway, but I'll deal with it just to not get sand in my shoes. I hate that so much. I do have some pine needles in there, but that's because they were stuck to my socks when I took my break. But the big question is, do I feel like I could have gone another mile? And and I was thinking about it like the whole way back. I was thinking about it. When I hit 3 miles, I was like, I feel good. Like, I feel really good. So let's see what this last mile is like. And then the last mile, I was just like, yeah, I'm still feeling good. This is good. But then I started asking myself, like, okay, but is it just because you're going downhill now? Like, what about, like, think back to when you hit 2 miles and you were going uphill. Do you think you could have gone another half a mile uphill? And I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not even sure if I could actually do another mile right now. I could probably do another half a mile right now, but I don't know if I could do another mile, even going downhill. So I think I'm going to just stick with 4 miles for a while. I think that's a good place to start. It's a good hike. It's a good amount of walking. So no shame in 4 miles. And I'll just, keep building it up. There's been so many Forest Service vehicles going by. I feel bad for them. I hate fires. Fires suck. But anyway, I was trying to think if I wanted to say anything else about the walk. Or the hike. No, I feel like overall this was a really, really good hike today. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'll be back in the desert tomorrow. But it's supposed to be a cooler day and it might even rain. And that would be nice. Like, I would enjoy a walk in the rain tomorrow. I have a poncho and an umbrella, and I don't even mind getting wet. It'll be fine. I might, oh, that's not my phone. I'm recording my phone. I picked up my phone case, my empty phone case. What I'll do tomorrow is when I wake up, I'll kind of check the weather forecast and see what it's saying. If it's going to be like rainy early in the morning and cool, then I might wait till a little bit later. I might not head out first thing in the morning. If I'm not going to be having to beat the heat, I might wait a little bit because I don't want to be in a cold rain. No. So, yeah, I'll figure that out tomorrow, but I'll do my hike tomorrow and probably won't record it. But I did last week. What I ended up doing is I just did a post because I forget we can do, it used to be you had to have 1,000 subscribers, I think, in order to post or something like that. It was like along the same lines as like monetizing videos. But now anybody can do a post. So I was like, oh, that's a really cool way for me to sort of keep track of what I'm doing. So on days that I don't film, I can just do a post, just stating, what I did, how many miles I did, and how I felt and everything. And I think that's really cool. So I'm going to keep doing that. I got to remember to take pictures when I'm out hiking because I forget to take pictures sometimes. And it'd be cool if I can put pictures up when I do the post as well. So I will definitely be working on that. I did take a few pictures today. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the hike. So now I think I'll talk about mindset for a while. This is probably going to be like a long portion, because it was an interesting weekend and I kind of want to talk about it and just kind of mull over some things, I guess. So, last week I was feeling so great. Like, I did that video on one of my hikes and I talked about how happy I am right now, how much progress I'm making in my healing. Like, everything was just like going so great. I felt amazing. I was happy. I was content. I mean, I'm still happy. Don't get me wrong. When I talk about like all this, I am still happy. So, nothing changed along there. It's just that like some emotions came up and I feel like I didn't quite handle them as well as I should have. I didn't, in some ways I did go back to I did utilize like some of the knowledge that I have now, but I didn't. I kind of fell back into some old patterns. So it was an interesting weekend for sure. And I think it started Friday night. Like that's what I'm thinking, because like Wednesday was great, Thursday was great, you know. So I'm pretty sure it was Friday night, because I know Thursday night I worked the night shift. That's my one night shift each week. And I had a good night. Like I had a lot of deliveries. I was really, really busy. But I was just like, I never got stressed out or overwhelmed. I never felt rushed. I was just on it. And I was like making good time on my deliveries. Like everybody was happy. I was getting good tips. Like it was a really good night. Except for one instance though, you know, where I was late because of a cook not doing their job. But you know, whatever. I got through it. The lady didn't yell at me, so everything was fine. You know, it was a really good night. And I'm pretty sure like that night, I don't think I had any issues when I went to bed that night, so I don't think it started Thursday night. I think it had to have been Friday. Because, well, and what happened? So here's the thing. So I was trying to go to sleep, and I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about hiking, you know. That's where my thoughts are laying right now. That's what I think about most of the time, is hiking. And I was just, you know, thinking about this hike coming up. I was getting really excited. You know, I only had a couple days left to work. And then this is my weekend. Mondays and Tuesdays are my weekend now. So my weekend's coming up. I get to go hiking again. I'm going to be so happy to be out on the trails again. You know, and just got to get through these work days, and then I can go back to doing what I love and being where I like to be. And I think my mind was kind of like, you know, rolling around. I was like going off into thinking about different places I could go hiking eventually. Like once I build up, you know, my stamina and build up my muscle strength and my endurance and all that, you know, other places I'd like to hike and what I'd like to do in the future, what I like to go through hiking, what do I want to do? Like, you know, all this stuff. And I'm just like thinking, just like letting my mind kind of wander with all these plans and stuff and possibilities. And then things took a turn. And all of a sudden, all these intrusive thoughts started coming in about scary stuff. Snakes, bears, mountain lions, weird men. Like, I should say scary men. Like all of these, like, and they want to go, like, they were like truly intrusive. Like I did not want them to be there. I don't know where they were coming from. It was just like all of a sudden I would just like imagine a snake, you know, lunging at me on the trail, or a bear attacking me, or like all this stuff started coming in. I was just like, what is going on here? Why is this happening? Like I know that I am not afraid of hiking. Like I do, like I get scared every once in a while. Like I was gonna film something earlier and I decided I didn't feel like pulling my camera out. But there was a tree that scared me earlier because I was kind of lost in thought. I was walking along and I was just kind of lost in thought and looking down at the ground, not really paying attention to my surroundings. And then all of a sudden out of the corner of my eye, I saw this big black thing over on my right. And I was like, bear. And my heart kind of jumped, and then I saw it was a tree, and I was like, oh God. And I just kind of laughed to myself. But, you know, that's more of a startle incident. That's not really like me just being scared to go hiking. Like, I don't get scared. I love being out here. Like, it does not scare me to go hiking. I've been hiking by myself for like almost 30 years now. I absolutely love it. It's not scary to me. So, but sometimes like those thoughts will take over, and it always happens at night too. And at first I was just like, I could feel myself resisting. I was getting kind of angry because I was like, I don't want to think about that kind of stuff. Like I I am fine. I don't want to scare. I was worried that it was going to scare me from going hiking. Like I was going to scare myself and I wouldn't want to go hiking. And so I was getting like upset about it and everything. And then I was just like, and then I remembered like, you know, don't resist. Don't resist. You know, this is probably like some sort of like instinctual part of the brain where, you know, it's nighttime. And so I'm more, you know, I'm thinking back to like caveman days and, you know, you had to be like aware of your surroundings at all time, even when you're sleeping and stuff. And so I'm probably entering like animal brain mode or something because I'm sleeping. And so, you know, I just let it be, you know, try not to get upset about it and just let it be. And so I did. And so the next morning I wake up, I'm in bed and I'm laying there and I actually tried to force those thoughts to come back. I tried to force it and they wouldn't come back. And I was like, okay, see, it was just a nighttime thing. It was just an animal instinct. Your brain just doing weird things at night because it's nighttime. But everything's fine. Now we have the light of day and I'm not scared. I'm not, you know, I couldn't even like try to come up with a scenario where I would get scared. I couldn't imagine a bear attacking me on the trail or a snake attacking me. Like, cause I know those things like are very, very, very unlikely to happen. So I was like, okay, that's good. You know, so I'm fine. And then I go to work and I don't know what happened exactly. Like I just started getting irritated. Things were just irritating me. Like just little things that people were doing. I just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And, you know, and I'm trying to just be like, I'm trying to get myself into this mode at work where I just understand that like this is just something that I have to do. And it's not like I have a horrible job. I like my job just fine. It's, you know, is it wonderful? No, but it's fine. It's not a bad job. And I don't even know of anything else that I want to do. So, you know, it's fine. I think I would probably like it more if I did less dishes and more deliveries, but that's the only thing. But I don't know. I just started getting irritated by every little thing. And it just kept building and building until I was like, I found myself like getting angry. And somebody like, you know, came over and was just trying to, you know, oh, is everything okay? Everything okay? And then I was just like, and I just told them, I was like, I'm just angry right now. And I just need to be allowed to be angry for a moment. Okay. And she's like, okay. So I did. I just let it be there. I was just like, I'm just gonna let the anger be here. And so I just let it be there until it worked itself out, until it like ran through. And then I was okay. And then, okay, things were fine again. And then right towards the end of my shift, something happened and I got angry again. And I was like, Argh! And this time I was like, I was going off to people. So I left, you know, it was the end of my shift anyway, so I just left. I'm like, whatever. Well, then I tried talking about it to a couple of people about what had made me so angry that day. And I got dismissed. I kind of got made to feel like my feelings didn't matter. And I was just bothering people, you know? And so that irritated me. Oh, so now I'm triggered by that, you know? And I'm just like, I'm in this really bad headspace now. And I'm just like, the intrusive thoughts are just coming. And I'm just like, and all of a sudden it dawns on me. I was journaling. I was like, just write in my journal. So I start journaling. And I'm just like, I'm not even going to talk to people anymore. Like, what is even the point? Ugh. And then I realized I was like, okay, you tried to co-regulate with two people. And neither one of them were helpful in that matter. So maybe you should co-regulate yourself. And so I took a little drive, went out of town, found a nice quiet spot where I could sit and watch the sunset, I pulled my camera out. Made a little video. I just talked to myself about how I felt. And I just allowed myself, I just kept telling myself, it's okay that I'm mad. It's okay. I'm allowed to be mad. And it calmed me down, and I was doing better. And I was like, okay. So I go home. But then my mind started going again. And I started thinking again about how these people failed me. And especially one person in particular, like, really hurt me. That they didn't, like, that they couldn't just allow me to be angry, you know? Instead made me feel like I was a bad person. And I don't know, it triggered some other feelings and thoughts about this person and the relationship with them, and like it put me in another bad spiral. And I actually tried to call them. I tried to call them so I could just like talk it out, like let them know how I felt and stuff. And they didn't answer. They sent me a text, "I'll call you later." And I was just like, okay, whatever. At that point, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm done. And they tried to text me later, and I was just like, no. So I managed to go to sleep. Like, it was a rough night. I definitely had a lot of stuff going on. I managed to go to sleep. And I knew, like, at that point, I was like, there's just stuff inside here. And it's probably not even about any of the stuff that triggered me throughout the day. There's just something in here, but I couldn't get myself to just let it be. Like, I was so resistant, and I knew I was being resistant. I knew I was making it worse, but I just didn't want to do the work. I did not want to do the work. And so I fell asleep and everything. I woke up the next morning, yesterday, Sunday, and I thought, okay, I'm feeling better. It's, again, it's daytime now. Fresh day, new thoughts, let the old stuff wash away. But then some of the stuff came back, and I'm like crying and stuff before I have to go to work, and then I'm upset because I'm crying and I have to go to work. And then I go to work and I'm just trying to like keep to myself and not talk to anybody. But then one of the people at work that I get along with really well, was talking to me about their issues and stuff, and I'm, trying to be there for them and lend an ear and trying to do the things that like other people don't do for me, like reflect back to them what they're feeling. Allow them to say the things they need to say, and don't sit there and be like, well, I really can't deal with what you're saying right now because I have my own stuff going on. Or, well, I think you're being ridiculous. You need to just get over it. Because that's the things that people do, that it's like so annoying. Like, why can people just not listen? Just listen. And so anyway, so I'm like, okay, be the change you wish to see in the world. So I'm doing that for this person. I am being that for them. I'm allowing them to say the things they need to say. I'm letting them vent. I'm reflecting their emotions back to them. I'm agreeing with what they say. I'm validating them, all of that stuff that nobody does for me. But then I ended up like getting emotional because we were talking. I kind of, was just talking about how hard it is to just exist in the world and be a person who has emotions, but you got to hide them all the time because people don't want to hear about them, or you got to work and you got to put on a certain face for work. You're not allowed to be emotional at work, because, and all this. And I started crying, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not in a good place right now. And then this person was like, this was so sweet, because she was like, you always listen to me. Like, you can tell me if you need to talk, because you always listen to me. And I was like, that's so sweet. That was so sweet. But I didn't. I told her, I was like, I don't even know what it is. It's just stored stuff. And I just need to have the time and the place to let it out. And I actually thought I was going to do that on my hike, but then I ended up feeling really good on my hike. I was like, it's not there anymore. It's gone. So like, so I felt much better throughout the day. Like, that was really nice. Just to, like, know that somebody cared was really, really nice. And it put me in a better mood and made me feel a lot better. And then, and the person that I have been, like, kind of irritated with, like, showed up to work, and I tried again. I just tried to, like, let them know, like, how I was feeling and stuff. And again, I just got dismissed. And so I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm done. I'm done. So, so I left and everything, and I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not, I knew that, like, it's not even about any one person. It's not about any one thing. Like, it's just that stuff sometimes just needs to come out, and, like, it's hard to let it out sometimes. It's hard to find the right way to let it out. So, but at any rate, like, finally, yeah, I was doing okay last night. I wasn't even upset with the person anymore. I was just like, that's just how they are. I'm not even gonna let them bother me anymore. Like, I'm just live my life, take care of myself. That's all you can do. But then they ended up texting me, like, late last night, and I guess they had been kind of thinking about some stuff, and they texted me, and we're trying to empathize with the way that I felt. And I ended up just being like, can you just say these words to me? That's all I need. I just need you to say these words to me, and that's going to make me feel better. And I said it. And I was like, thank you. And it was good. Everything was fine after that. So it's like, I think that this was just like, it was a weird weekend, and it was interesting. And I think I learned a lot. And the thing is that none of the stuff that I got upset about even matters. It's not even important, because none of the way that I felt was really about anything that actually happened. But I definitely, like, realized that it's so important. It's so important to mirror people's emotions. Emotions are important. They're there for a reason. And so many of us have so much crap stored up because we've been taught to repress our emotions. And we're still taught that. Like, that's one of the things I was thinking. I was like, I feel like I'm a child again. And instead of my parents allowing me to just be angry about something, they're telling me, no, you can't feel that. It's wrong to be angry. And that's how I felt. Like, I felt like a little child. And I was like, this is insane. Why do we do this to each other? Like, we get our emotions repressed when we're children. Our parents make us repress our emotions. And then when we become adults, and we try to repress the emotions of the people around us. And it's just so crazy. And how do you live in this world? How do you live in this world when you're somebody who wants to express their emotions and wants to be okay with the fact that they have emotions, who accepts themselves despite their emotions, or because of their emotions, I don't even know, but accepts the fact that they have emotions, and sometimes they feel stuff, and can see that, like, it's not always about what's happening in the moment. Like, I know that. And I guess, like, where I'm upset with myself is that I didn't do any work to try to just drop into the body. I kept going up into the head. I kept thinking thoughts. I kept letting my mind run, and I didn't drop into the body. And that's where I'm upset with myself. Yeah. So it was an interesting weekend. So I definitely, like, the funny thing about it, though, is that I do not feel any shame. It's not a funny thing. It's a good thing. The good thing about it is that I don't feel any shame. And I don't think there's any reason that I should feel shame. And normally, like, I would feel shame. I would feel shame about the way I acted. I would feel ashamed that I had show my emotions. I would feel ashamed that I'm talking about it right now. I would just try to like forget that it happened, put it in the past, but it happened, and I'm not proud of the way that I acted. In fact, I sent an apology to one person, because I didn't like the way that I had acted. Some of the things that I had said I didn't like. But also, like, it's just part of this experience. This is just part of being a human being. I'm working through like years and years and years of emotional conditioning, that started in infancy. And I'm gonna have these moments. Like, it's not all forward progress. Sometimes you take a few steps back, and you just learn from it and you go forward. And and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine to be a human being existing in this world, feeling things. That's what we're here to do. We're just here to feel shit. Like, we wouldn't have these emotions if not for a reason. And like, God, people think that we have to repress. That's why, like, I'm not as into like spiritual stuff as I used to be. Like, I still consider myself a spirituality, but in my own way, because I feel like so much of spirituality is like just be zen all the time. I'm like, no, you're not supposed to. Maybe if we had been allowed to be like emotional creatures when we were young, then we wouldn't have these issues. But like, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. And so we gotta deal with it as adults and try to relearn and figure it out. And I'm proud of myself that I'm figuring it out, in my own way. I'm figuring it out. So so that's where I'm at right now. I'm not even sure if I'm going to put this in the video, to be honest. But yeah, why not? I think like maybe I get like 10 views a video, so it's okay. I'll put it up. Honesty is good. Can't hide this shit. But I do feel good. I do feel good. I know that I still have some things to work on. I really have to try to find a way to like get through the days at work without having issues, I guess. Like, not having this kind of stuff come out at work, because it's hard when it comes up at work, because I haven't figured out how to just drop into the body at work, and I don't know how to handle other people when I'm not in a good place, when things are coming up. Like, how am I supposed to be around people? I don't know how. I don't know how to be a worker while I'm on this journey. But I can't quit because I don't have any money. So we'll keep working on it. I'll figure something out. I know I will. I'm good at that. I'm good at figuring stuff out. Definitely. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I think that's it. That's where I'm at. Have an emotional outburst, but being okay with it. And that's a good place to be at. I'll get to another place eventually. It's a process, And if I don't figure it out before I die, then oh well. At least I did the best I could. Okay, I'm gonna go home. On the drive, I'm gonna think about what I want to eat, because I'm gonna treat myself to a nice meal when I get home. I just don't know what it's going to be. All right, so thanks for watching, I guess. Bye.